Late night League of Legends casting. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am RYW Pato, and with me is Highwind, and we are bringing you day one action from LANcouver, the Dream Team, the former VVV runaway Tsunami, as you can see right there on Nautilus, versus NCIX. Both of these teams undefeated so far, and we're gonna have a quick run out here. And it looks like, no, my prediction was wrong. I actually was talking to these guys, and I thought they were actually going to go Yorick bottom and try to do something cute and have an AD support top, but I think they're not quite comfortable with that. Both teams are undefeated, so maybe they have some confidence they can take on this team. NCIX going to be rocking his Jax play. He does love the Jax. We're going to see what these teams decide to do. I believe the Dream Team probably feels pretty confident. We're probably going to see an invade from them. Looks like they're heading down towards the Tri-Brush. Really quickly, looks like Tsunami's going to lead the way as Nautilus. Have a quick little invade here. Has those hooks in case they can catch anybody out.
Yeah, so some fan favorites here you've got on the Vancouver Dream Team. We know a little bit about Tsunami. He used to play for VVV, still has the VVV tag. Some players filling in here on the Dream Team. TGF Liquidity.
Whoa! You don't fill in on the Dream Team. You get called up to the Dream Team.
Oh, that's true. You get called up to the Dream Team. So a lot. TGF. Quite known within the League of Legends community. Plays on the Green Forest. Was at MLG with the rest of the players. It looks like most of TGF is in California, but here in Vancouver they do have liquidity here.
Yeah, it seems like Vancouver's kind of like that weird demographic area where like they always have like one guy like Curse Crumbs was here, or now Dignitas Crumbs.
Yeah.
And then like they got TGF Liquidity. Like there's always one really good player that's just like playing for some really good team in this area. And is Draven actually getting caught out here? They actually know this is up. TGF Liquidity trying to be cute.
Maybe some ghosting going on. Like yep, I know you're there. I'm gonna just go ahead and prevent you from doing anything. So I love JVU. Used to be blah blah.
Yes.
2213, I believe, has changed his name to I love JVU. So this bot lane's quite stacked. These guys are familiar with one another, have probably played with and against each other in solo queue quite a bit. For the top lane, we're gonna have Udyr, and I don't quite recognize the summoner. And while I'm trying to introduce some players here, a lot of aggression going on here in the bot lane. Exhaust getting burned.
Yeah, quick little trade by the 80s right there. Although Soraka has the better sustain, obviously, because she actually does have a heal in this bottom lane. Janna, can only shield a lot of this attack. I think Liquidity feels pretty confident. They've been having a good tournament so far, so I imagine he's probably playing Draven just simply because, it kind of gives him the advantages. One, he feels like he's a skilled player. He's probably going to be able to beat anybody in this bot lane and an AD matchup, at least, in his mind. And then furthermore, if you don't necessarily have played against Draven a lot and you don't know what he does, then you can take advantage of other players with that. So I imagine it's probably a fun thing for him. Plus, it's a little bit, of a mind game thing right there.
Oh, I would not disagree in the slightest here, and I like it here. We are casting late night. It's after midnight. Day one was supposed to end right before midnight, and but due to internet and connectivity issues, we have run late, so to speak, and some matches had to get replayed. Like there was players taking food breaks. So we are in, I believe, the fourth round. This is a Pool A match.
Yep.
And so there's 5 rounds within Pool A, and we are in the 4th round. And with both teams being undefeated, there's kind of a bit on the line, but it's also, you get that feeling. I don't know if you can kind of hear some of the music in the background.
Yeah, we got some DJs bumping the music,
so
tunes.
LANcouver so far has been a great experience, and I can probably tell if, for these teams to be 3-0 coming at this point, win or lose, they've probably had a great run through pool play, and so I can tell you it's probably And
Tensu is coming in here onto Liquidity, really quick flash out. I Love You has had to flash as well, trying to get out of this. And it looks like he will be able to escape. They're trying to turn around, put a little bit of damage on their opponents right here. Tensu is taking a lot of damage. He does not want to die. If he loses that double buff, it'll be really bad for him. But I think he's tempting fate. He's waiting for that stun to come up, and maybe we'll try to make a play. And really, if I'm NCIX, coming into this game, you are against the Dream Team here. It's a very high talent stack team. You definitely have to expect that they're going to have to make plays if they want to win this game. They're not going to be able to just like sit back and try to beat them mechanically.
Oh, you said it, you hit the nail on the head. And frankly, I'm not sure how to take this. I mean, if I going into this matchup, you're probably sitting in lobby and like, holy crap, all those guys are 2K plus, really? And
a stun on the Decibel admitted. It looks like they are going to pick up first blood here for Annie. It looks like Tsunami's turning around here. and first blood drawn by NCIX, and I love the team. And there's another story on top of this. TensuX you might have seen in Judgments before, as a captain winning Judgment BC.
Yep.
But some of this team is actually replacement players. They're staff members that just filled in because the rest of their team was not able to play. And actually we've kind of found like there's actually been a few of those teams. Like one team literally, like I'm not kidding you, 2 of the members said, what, this tournament is too intense for us. We're gonna go home.
Yeah,
and actually just left and had to get replacements.
So I mean, and normally in a competitive situation, you'd be like, well, whoa, wait, hold on, wait, this is supposed to be a super competitive event. Team showed up. Well, part of it of this event is that it is a LAN, it's a BYOC.
Yeah.
We've got players that love the game of League of Legends, so they put together a few teams, and they've also called up not so much ringers, but just players that want to play in place of these alternates. And here in this format, that's not a big deal. It's not like players are playing from one team and then another. It's just that we're recruiting players that want to play and have a good time at the event.
And we want to have a tournament run. These teams, they spent the money, they come out here, they spend $50 or whatever at the end of the tournament. They definitely want to be able to, play their games. If someone doesn't happen to show up or something happens at the last minute, it's nice that we actually have, everybody's, pretty much allowing this to happen so that we can get more games in, people can have fun, and that's the main point of this tournament, along with trying to win the awesome prizes. And Diajurger backing up out of here, and I actually really like Tensux's jungle so far. He's been very aggressive. He's been around the map. We've seen him bottom lane, mid lane, and top lane regulating here. And Aviator coming back in here, trading with liquidity, and he actually might be able to win this out. He actually is going to get the kill, and a flash coming in, or actually teleport coming in from York down there just to show up. Just be like, what's up, bro? And if they were able to take him down, possibly. Maybe.
I would almost consider a dragon attempt here. The thing is, York's not level 6, and they don't have quite the damage to take a dragon right now. But, and I think burning that teleport may hurt their ability to pressure dragon here in the next few minutes. But I don't, it's not a big deal. York's gonna go ahead, head back to lane. Jax covering the lane, doing a great job. So this is great for Jax. Jax is one of those snowball champions where you want to get ahead. And if you're in the jungle, it's harder to do so, but spending that extra time in lane, that's not a bad thing. And
if we actually look at this too, Jax is actually even levels with Udia here, and he's actually winning some exchanges as a jungler. And I actually like, the part about that teleport that I did like is the fact that Jax was up there, so someone was still there farming, laning, and they're getting him ahead too. And York, to be honest, like as much as he could farm or harass, he's really not going to completely push Udyr out of lane, and really is going to be there.
Because here comes Rumble. Rumble will have his level 6 ult.
Not too scared. He's gonna walk away. I mean, honestly, York has some outs. He's just kind of showing his face there. Both players actually at top actually have wards there in the river, so they're able to see this out. And a great rotation by Annie. She's not actually have stun up, but now the stun is up after that Q, and it looks like they might actually pick up Deathspill here, and they will. And the Dream Team on the ropes early.
And I like this NCIX coordination. I like this communication right now. You can see that. Tensuix, they had that ward placement, so they knew he was going down. He also stayed kind of in proximity to keep vision. Called Annie up, said, Annie, get that charge ready, get that T-bomb ready. We're going to get this guy. We're going to collapse on Rumble, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, really great play, and there's been, I can tell there's a lot of communication with their team, and they're definitely very confident in knowing when they can win trades. And when I look at this team too, when I look at the play that they've made to get kills, it's like they definitely know it's like they're punishing the Dream Team for basically like making the mistakes.
Or at least in this situation, Decibel.
Yeah. Well, Decibel's been punished twice. They actually even got TGF out, overconfidence right there. And Aviator knew, he's like, hey, I can beat you. I'm going in.
Oh, no, that ult's up.
And TGF getting the better of him that time.
Yeah, Liquidity caught Aviator out of position, caught Aviator when Boo Boo Cart was out of position warding.
Yeah. And that's a sign of a really good bot lane. Whenever you recognize the support goes, especially to war, because it's very common, just put a ton of pressure on them. They can't do anything. They're not going to be able to beat you 2v1, and your support's far enough away, and the angle they have to come in a lot of times to get back in to help the support, it's unsafe. So in that case, very, very smart play for them. It's a veteran play, just realizing it right away, and actually missing a kill. VV Tsunami actually coming in onto mid.
Direct to camera, letting us down.
Tensuix taking a ton of damage, and it looks like Liquidity just actually sustaining through this with Soraka. Soraka's heal's up to snuff now. There's no exhaust for him, and he's just actually laying out tons of damage with that bonus damage that now he's been leveling up his Axe Blades right now.
And if I had to guess, it looks like Nautilus did have to burn his ult for that ganking mid. Did not have to burn flash. And poor Annie.
Poor Annie. Those Nautilus ganks still good. Spoiler alert. But now, so at first, you know, NCIX came out. They came out hot, and the mechanics of the Dream Team you see have helped them out in lane because as you can see that their gold is actually higher than the blue team, even though they're down a kill. And they've kind of just like pulled it together now. You know, maybe and sometimes too you get on a high. You know, when you get those first 3 kills, it's 3-0. Yeah, you get really pumped, and things fall by the wayside, and sometimes you might blank a little bit on some kills. And you know, veteran players like these Dream Team players, like TGF Liquidity, like VV Tsunami, they're gonna stay focused. And there's another kill. Apparently, VV Tsunami, he's so stealthy with his ganks. He's able to get in without direct to camera nosing. For now, I think I'm just gonna look at the minimap and make sure we don't miss any more VV Tsunami's kills.
Yeah, it looks like Annie in a lot of trouble in mid right now. Oh.
Ooh, turret coming in to play there. It looks like she will be safe. Using Tibbers to zone out a little bit.
Unfortunately, she's going to be in a lot of trouble because Tsunami's going to come in.
Nah, she should be safe. Yeah, she's out. Tsunami sad panda. Again, sometimes, you know, put that extra point into that teleport, or the blue pill ability. Really good. Saves lives.
So blue buff here for the blue team is actually going to be spawning in about a minute. Tsunami probably letting his team know that, hey, we now are starting to gain an advantage both in mid and or top lane. I would probably go back as Nautilus and maybe, you know, maybe grab a ward, upgrade in my GP10 items, and then probably head back to the blue. At least that's what I would do, because I feel that I am ahead and the counter jungle would be a safe thing to do. And with that York ult, I don't know if Jax is going to go down, but he's actually running away. He probably wants to die here. He'll respawn up.
Yeah, the sun will go off. He's not going to be able to close the distance. And they really, really want this kill, but there's nothing actually to seal the deal. But they're still going in. Tensuks really wants this kill. Yorick tanking the turret, and the ghost will fall. And now Udir's actually going to fight this and actually has the heal and the damage from Tiger Stance. He really, really wants this kid. Yorick's cool. Let's come back up. But Annie in a lot of trouble. Gonna have to use her stun to possibly get out of this. Harpoon is missing, and there's the stun coming back. Just give her a little bit of breathing room to try to make it out of this. There's the flash, the dredge line. It will land, and they should be able to wrap this up with Rumble. And Rumble is definitely, you know, he's not your typical mid, but he's also, you know, people aren't used to playing against Rumble a lot of times, especially in mid and AP matchups. You don't see them a lot. Typically, it's a top lane to deal with a lot of bruisers, but he does a surprising amount of damage. If you're not used to playing against Rumble, he can definitely creep up on you. Even though, you know, Annie was ahead with those first 2 kills, now that Rumble's, you know, starting to snowball a little bit, he's got some kills on his belt, he's got some assists on his belt. Starting to come back against Annie. Ooh, unless we have a disconnect or a pause. Yeah. But Rumble is one of the hardest snowballing in a lane characters because his damage output just gets absolutely ridiculous, especially with veteran players that can get the heat at that 50 mark and just straddle that line and deal that extra bonus damage from his passive for being in the, you know, the heat zone, overheat zone. Very, very strong.
And one thing that's going to be even, you know, kind of more bad news for Annie is that Rumble with that kill has enough gold, and we could probably check it out, but he's going to go back and he's going to finish his revolver, which is going to give him that sustain in lane. That's going to make him more of a threat in terms of being able to harass, stay at that heat zone, and then when those all comes off cooldown with, you know, possibly Ignite or the assistance of Nautilus, they're going to really make plays against Annie. And Annie's going to have to play a little more reserved, a little more conservative. I would say maybe try and get out of lane a little bit, maybe try and make plays in top or bot. But it's going to be hard because Rumble does have the ability to push a lane.
Yeah, he pushes it naturally just with his harass. You harass your opponent, you shield rush your opponent, you have that flamethrower up, and it's actually dealing damage to the minion wave as you're just running through and killing people. And typically what happens with Rumble especially is you just dive in for harassment. They typically want to back off because they don't want to trade with you. And then after you've run through and done all the damage, you just come back and last hit all the minions on your way back through. And you can just repeat that over and over again as long as, you know, you feel safe and you're not over-engaging. Because one thing you definitely don't want to do is you don't want to overheat at the wrong time and be silenced, you know, too long in a critical situation where you have to try to get out of a jungle gank of some sort.
So what do we feel about this bot lane matchup right now? It looks like, you know, we have Ezreal and we have Janna going up against Soraka and Draven. And interesting enough, it looks like both AD carries from each respective teams were disconnected. It looks like they both have reconnected.
Their epic awesomeness was so strong that they DC'd each other.
Labor assuming here in just 1 second. Jax finishing this gang. I don't think he can actually quite take down Rumble.
No, he can't really. You know, melee characters actually have a really hard time against Rumble just because you're basically entering his wheelhouse. Characters that can poke a lot more actually have a lot better chance against him. It looks like Aviator actually focusing onto Soraka, not really fully what he wants to do at this stage, taking a ton of damage from Liquidity.
The ult will kill him.
And he's just going to flash in there, get that slow to try to shore up that ult and make sure it happens. And he's actually going to die and not be able to get the kill, but yes, he finally should. Oh, wow. Double kill from
Excellent
Ezreal.
Play from the support and with the Ignite assistance.
And Rumble's come down. I think Rumble's actually going to give up his life here. I think York's actually going to be able to convert this, running in. And Jaina just with a little support there to slow him down. Actually, Rumble picking up the kill and support picking up, finishing off. And, you know, he deserves that. He deserves it. He did such a great job in the bot lane, you know, making sure that, you know, Ezreal could survive through that dive there. And there, you know, I have to say it was greedy. You know, obviously Liquidity's like, I kind of want this highlight kill. I'm going to go in there, dive there. But, you know, most times I would expect him to not actually try to make that move. You know, it's very, very bold, risky at this point. If you're ahead, you actually don't want to trade because it's actually bad for you trading when you are ahead. So
Annie doesn't want to leave lane here. Annie could be farming mid-wave creeps and pushing beyond the turret, forcing that deny, you know, using that turret to deny creep waves and picking up the extra farm. She's not going to be able to make a play on Nautilus, and she's not really going to pick up any farm here in bot lane, so she's actually hurting herself. You know, because she's going to spend the time to maybe back and then run back to lane. She could have picked up an extra creep wave, kind of help her get that.
She's actually going to get the stun off on Liquidity, and it looks like it will pay off.
And I think Highway's going to eat his words.
Well, honestly, let's be real. Unless Liquidity, when he DC'd, all of a sudden can't see his team's own wards, he should have seen Annie there. He had a ward there, and he just fell asleep, and Annie, you know, jumped on it. So, luckily for her, you know, Liquidity obliged.
So Annie taking pure advantage of the team that's falling asleep here and actually rotating up. She won't have the Tibbers. York in a lot of trouble.
And Annie's not going to actually have a pretty good engage on this unless they decide to dive under turret. And York actually looks like he will escape. Jack's coming down.
Up, but Annie...
Tibbers still following up. She's going to put in the support damage. But this is actually really dangerous. Rumble can still put out a ton of damage here. Especially if he gets followed up by Udyr.
And Jax has the ability here to leap strike to a minion. He should be safe. You know, right now, you know, I think what we're going to see is just a complete disengage. Each team kind of returning to the lanes respectively. I do like this early Oracles here on Janna. This is going to help them get map control. Also, you know, here in about 2 or 3 minutes, that teleport's going to be back up from York, so we could see another, you know, again coming here on bot lane with the assistance of York, maybe Annie getting out of lane. And or Jax. So I mean, definitely.
Ooh, the flash after.
Did not hit.
It is going to be good enough. That just tiny bit of slow from his ult is going to be able to slow her down long enough to get the kill. It looks like the axe is coming in from Draven bot. Maybe trying to get an assist there, maybe. Cute little play right there.
Now, what has been working out for Udyr here, outside of that early, well, he did pick up that kill on Jax earlier with the aggression.
Throwing all the spells, unfortunately just out of range. But Rumble is rotated down there, and this is going to be fat deeps onto Aviator. Aviator is a done man. He's marked for death. Janna can do everything she wants, but it's not going to happen.
And hopefully she doesn't get this Oracle here. And I think
she's going to have to. Yeah, those harpoons are going to come in. Even if Rumble overheated, he can still fire those harpoons as long as he fires the first one before he overheats. So there's no way she was making out of that. One of my rules, actually, you know, I was going to touch on before she lost that. Well, number one rule, if you're support and you get an Oracle, try not to die. But number two is if you get a kill, you should buy an Oracle. Because typically as support, you don't want to take those kills. You want to stay in assist. But if you are fortunate that it happens to happen, and TGF Liquidity getting caught under a turret again, NCIX trying to make a play, is going to flash after, and he's just barely not going to get Soraka coming in and helping him out. But definitely, whenever you get into kill support, if you're fortunate enough, buy an Oracle. Because you got that extra gold, do it. Unless you're really far behind. But in most cases, you know, go get one. Annie hanging around trying to make a play possibly with Rumble, you know, if he is getting turret aggroed and she has that stun. It looks like Tibbers is up, but now with a 3-man team, she's going to need some support, otherwise it's way too dangerous to hang around there.
And with Rumble's ult coming up, and actually is up along with the Ignite, I want to say that it's going to be bad news for someone here shortly.
Yeah, Aviator using his Essence Flux to try to get out of this, but there's the Rumble cutting off retreat. Yorick quickly, smartly using his ult to keep Ezreal alive just long enough to put some damage. Looks like Janet's going to fall. Annie trying to run out of this and try to survive. Ghost Ezreal from the grave trying to make something happen, but it's not going to be enough. Diverger just too tanky, too much to stand. NCIX still wants that liquidity. He feels really bad about last time, and he's going to be able to pick up the revenge kill, and now he's just going to be running for his life.
Yeah, so as I was saying before, Udyr, has just basically been sitting top lane and farming. He's now 3-0-2. He had the early GP for 10 items, sitting on 117 CS, which is, not far away from Draven CS. So you see it, pretty much top in CS.
He's easily over double Yorick's, who was his top lane matchup. And Decibel, he just wants kills. He's being greedy here. He's going in here. He's gonna have to give up some extra gold bonus to Aviator. And it looks right now like the Dream Team, they feel very confident in the way this game is going. They've won in a lot of lanes just CS-wise to be able to actually afford to actually give up kills to this NCIX team. They're up 7 kills right now, and they're probably going to be warding out, and I imagine they're going to possibly think about other objectives, like Dragon, like they're picking right now, or even Baron if they want to.
Yeah, and I wouldn't call this play sloppy so much as kind of the state at where we are right now. Because here at LANcouver, it's getting close to 1 o'clock at night. Teams, they've had late dinners. They're kind of getting a little food coma action. So I wouldn't call it sloppy so much as kind of what you expect in this environment. And right now, I like the aggression. I like the overcommitting. I don't think anybody's really intentionally throwing a game. I think they're just playing the game for the sake of playing, having fun. They're probably in a good attitude
let's be real. This is a LAN. You're supposed to have fun in this tournament. Neither one of these teams losing will actually knock them out of the tournament. At the very worst, they lose a little seed points, but, if you're confident that you're going to win this tournament, come in here, which we know the Vancouver Dream Team is pretty confident they have a stellar shot at winning this tournament. Arguably could easily be the favorite to win the tournament. If they can make moves like that and have fun and get away with it, and it's perfectly fun play. Trading kills back and forth.
Udyr going to pick up that kill. Mainly he was down for Dragon, and poor Janna, poor Ezreal kind of getting picked up as collateral damage. Annie making a good play here, but not going to work out. She might actually... She will get out of here, but Yorick is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Rumble's 2 levels ahead of her. He's already on his way to his Rylai Scepter. The damage output for the red team is just tiers above the blue team right now. And
really, I want to say from all the plays that I love the blue pilling action going on here. I want to say, really... I love JVU. Has been kind of the MVP for me right now. Granted, it's like Soraka. We're not going to say how easy or hard it is to play that as a support, but all of those heals have been...
When your team's trying to dive all the time, you get some work.
They're making Soraka work, and she's, I love JVU is doing a great job here, just constantly being in the right position, making those heals, making those plays, letting their team, do what they want to do with their aggression, and being there to kind of, babysit the entire team.
And you know what? Soraka actually going in there, actually saving Decibel. Decibel under a turret, about to dive, and got those really fat Soraka heals. Was able to sustain him through that engagement right there.
So Liquidity being a little aggressive here. You're gonna eat 1 turret, eat 2 turrets.
He's like, I want this kill. I'm gonna get out of this. I'm gonna run into another turret.
And I'm gonna get.
I'm gonna make you see that really cool Tron death animation by Pulse Fire Ezreal. That's what's going down right now. Looks like the Dream Team just pushing in here. Gonna slow, and actually there is the surrender from NCIX. And I believe there's only 1 more round left to play. Yep. And NCIX will lose this game, but they're definitely, I don't think they can be knocked out mathematically at this point. But we'll have to see, what they decide to do in their next game. I liked their earlier game performance. It was very, very strong.
Yeah, went up 3-0.
Yeah, and it was definitely probably a wake-up call. I think Dream Team probably walked through a few games or had some really good confidence coming in there. And, that just kind of slap started them. Like, all right, we have a game. Let's make this fun. And I think it was fun for both teams.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to see both these teams at day 2 tomorrow. Yeah. I think with the win, the Dream Team, the Vancouver Dream Team, VDT, will probably lock up the #1 seed from Pool A. They've been doing a good job, solid performance, and I look forward to them in day 2 tomorrow.
Yes, for sure.
Actually, both teams.